Good morning, dear hearts. We are at a favorite lesson, and it has other significance as well, so please subscribe. Today's lesson, I am as God created me. Significant. It's an I am lesson, and we know the power of that statement. It's a giant stride lesson. It's the third giant stride lesson that we have had. It is the only lesson that is repeated in the first part of the workbook exactly as it is stated 3 times. So you've got this one, 2 more to come. I am as God created me. And that statement is very significant because it is the key to salvation, freedom, happiness, joy, all of that and more. Today we continue with the one idea which brings complete salvation, the one statement which makes all forms of temptation powerless, the one thought which renders the ego silent and entirely undone. Entirely undone. This one idea, I am as God created me, dismantles the ego thought system. And this is about our thought system. You are as God created you. The sounds of this world are still. The sights of this world disappear. And all the thoughts that this world ever held are wiped away forever by this one idea. Here is salvation accomplished. Here is sanity restored. Salvation accomplished. In yesterday's lesson, just in yesterday's lesson, that light and joy and peace abide in me, in paragraph 7, which was the one I wanted everyone to read, salvation requires the acceptance of but one thought. You are as God created you, not what you made of yourself. You are as God created you. This thought that I am as God created me, has been underlying so many of our other lessons that we've already had. And one of them is lesson 40, that I am blessed as a son of God, which I think I probably mentioned yesterday. It really appears in a different form in very many of our lessons, because in that one lesson, it is, I am blessed as a son of God. I am happy, peaceful, loving, and contented. All of the characteristics of light and peace and joy abide in me. So again, we've been given this information, and that also is an I am lesson. I am blessed as a son of God. I am as God created me. Another lesson that we'll bring in later in just a moment or two is lesson 35, that my mind is part of God's. I'm very holy. So to continue with today's lesson, it tells us that true light is strength, and strength is sinlessness. Yesterday we were told our sinlessness is guaranteed by God. God established our sinlessness, and so it is. And so it is. Nothing is ever going to change the truth of who we are, and the truth of who we are is we are sinless. Always have been. That's how we were created. There is no sin in God. Thought doesn't leave its source. We are a thought from God. God is sinless. So are we. You are as God created you. Darkness cannot obscure the glory of God's Son. You stand in light, strong in the sinlessness in which you were created and which will remain throughout eternity. Nothing is going to change who we are. God is unlimited. God is eternal. God is creation. We are as well, because the thought doesn't leave its source. The practicing is the first 5 minutes of every waking hour that we will say. And of course, say the lines first. Try to go into our meditation, our quiet space where the sounds of the world are still and the sights disappear. That I am as God created me. I am his son eternally. I have no problem if you say that I am his child eternally. If that is more comfortable for you, it doesn't change. It doesn't change the It doesn't change the thought. It doesn't change the meaning of this. As I've said before, I'll say again, spirit has no gender, so it doesn't matter if we use son or child or daughter for that matter. Now we try to reach the Son of God in you. This is the self that never sinned nor made an image to replace reality. This is the self that never left its home in God. This is not the prodigal child. This is the child that has stayed. And we have never left God to walk the world uncertainly. This is the self. And all of these are selves with a big S, that knows no fear nor could conceive of loss, of suffering, or death. The next paragraph 4 says, nothing is required of you to reach this goal, to lay all idols and self-images aside. Go past the list of attributes, both good and bad, you have ascribed to yourself, and wait in silent expectancy for the truth. That's where we go to lesson 35, because in lesson 35, that my mind is part of God's, I am very holy. In the practicing for that lesson, we had different adjectives that we applied to how we see ourselves. I see myself imposed upon. I see myself as depressed. I see myself as victorious. I see myself as charitable. Whatever we did then, okay, again, now we're just going to lay all of that aside, the good thoughts and the bad thoughts, because neither of them are the true thoughts. That's where we want to go to, our true thoughts. It tells us if you do not meet the requirement of practicing for the first 5 minutes of every hour, at least remind yourself hourly, I am as God created me. I am his child eternally. The other thing I want to say about that is if you don't get to do those first 5 minutes, don't throw your hands up in despair and all is lost because I didn't do that. We just wait and try again at the next hour. This is a gentle path. We are asked to try. If we do not accomplish it to our own standard or what we believe we're being asked to do, then we just try again the next hour and the one after that. Also, we use this same phrase if anyone comes into our purview and is distressing to us for any reason. And we tell them silently in our mind, we can say, you are as God created you. You are his child eternally. They don't have to hear us because we connect on the mind level. We are all of one mind. So we say to everyone that we meet, you are as God created you. We want everyone to grasp this knowledge, to know who they are, because that helps us to know who we are. And then in the final paragraph, it says, make every effort to do these hours today. And each one you do will be a giant stride, see, it says so, toward your release and a milestone in learning the thought system which this course sets forth. It is a thought system. This is what we are doing. We are learning a new thought system. We are leaving behind the old thought system from the ego, and we are coming to salvation, freedom, our joy, our happiness, all together with this one thought, I am as God created me. So that's it for today. I hope it helped. Please like, please share, please subscribe, please comment. Please ask others to subscribe. We're kind of stuck. We need to get to 1,000. Oh my God, YouTube world, and we pray. We pray for this idea that we are as God created us, to bless every mind. Namaste.